This is Missta Mums, the parenting podcast that's as real as the mess in your living room, but way more fun.
Hosted by us,
Demi Duncan
and Melinda Baxter, the proud inventors of the Missta formula feeding safety thermos.
We're here to share unfiltered life updates, parenting stories and advice.
Plus, the chaos that comes with juggling 7 children between us while running a business.
So grab a coffee or whatever keeps you going and join us for a laugh.
Because let's face it, we're all just figuring it out.
Hello.
Oh my God, let's act like we haven't been talking for the last 20 minutes.
Good morning. Good afternoon, whenever this is going to be aired.
How was your McDonald's on the way in?
Delightful.
What is your order?
I'm too embarrassed to say.
Oh my God, no, now you have to tell me because I would seriously have like a McChicken. What's the time? I'd have one at like 8 a.m.
I did. I had a triple cheeseburger this morning with a hash brown,
love that.
sausage and egg McMuffin and large chips and orange juice.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
I feel sick now.
We parked the car and I was like, oh, that's not good.
That's a bit.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a bit.
I'm kind of jealous though.
I'm that jealous.
Yes, same.
And that is a good order.
Thank you.
Good Lord.
Thank you.
Mel and I love Macca's, don't we?
Yeah. I didn't think we'd be starting this chat talking
neither.
about McDonald's, but here we are, so it's fine. No, but do you want to give us a bit of like background of you both and how you met and why you're here?
Yeah, of course. We met over 12 years ago, I would say now. I was at full-time studying with Jess Linden, my beautiful friend, and Mitchell's friend, and spoke to me about him. You were doing Poppins at the time, I believe, and we met in an audition room.
Oh.
And the rest is history, pretty much. And when did we get together? Priscilla, which was 2017 is when we first started dating.
Yep.
So it's coming up 9 years next year.
Yep. And then married almost 4.
4 years next
3.
year.
Yep.
I'm not waiting. I'm going,
Yeah.
Do you know the days?
Yeah, it's 3rd of Jan.
Yeah.
Where'd you get married?
We got married at the Windsor Hotel in Melbourne.
Yep.
Delightful.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Was it just your parents, you guys? Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yes.
get
We only
out.
had 6 in the room, or 7 including the celebrant, us
Yeah.
2 plus our 2 parents.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We didn't tell anyone for a while. We just told our best friends.
Yeah.
And then about 3 or 4 weeks after we got married, we just were like, oh, by the way, we got married. And we just dropped it and we're like, everyone's like, what the fuck?
Once
Did you
the
have a
video-
party?
No. We were planning on it like afterwards, and then life happened and things came up that we decided
Our
to.
intention was to have like a full super yacht party, you know, like
That's everyone's
fly
intentions, I think.
Kardashians in and
Yeah,
everything.
love that.
Obviously.
You know,
Oh,
small,
yeah.
very small budget.
I would have been there.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
And then we woke up one day and we're like, oh, let's just do it next week at a hotel,
Yeah.
in a hotel room
Yeah.
for a couple of $100.
No, you wanted to go to the registry, like just. I was like, no.
I was like, budget.
I said, absolutely not. I said, we can do something like that, but a bit nicer.
Yeah, a bit more glam.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have
Yeah.
been perfect, I can imagine.
It was the best. We wouldn't have changed a thing.
No, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
And then, had you always both wanted kids? Like, was it always like an absolute yes? Or was it kind of like, we'll see what happens?
For me, it was always an absolute yes. I don't even think we really had that proper discussion. Like, we was never, do you want to have kids? And he was like, no, sorry, we're
Yeah.
not being together.
Yeah.
It was
just you
always
knew.
on the, it was just always been new. And it just came up literally one day how this whole process started for us. Mitchell just mentioned it. And then there was just no looking back.
I think we both grew up like separately knowing that we wanted to, 1, get married and 2, have a family.
Yeah.
Yep.
We never really, not that we didn't speak about it, we did speak about it, but it wasn't like, we just knew it was always going to be in the cards.
Yeah, it was just always there for us.
And then we just kind of, we were both living separately on separate tours. I was in Brisbane and you were, I think, in Sydney on a show. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to send an inquiry to an agency. And then...
Was that the first, not convo you'd had about it, but like your first?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
just like,
Just supernatural.
because, you know, I was actually at a cafe and I was scrolling on TikTok and an ad popped up and
An ad?
an ad popped up for an agency and I was like, I'm just going to send an inquiry. And I was sitting there with my egg and bacon, sent an inquiry off, and then literally 24 hours later, I got a response from them. And this is a pretty wild story, actually. Got a reply from the agency, and it was a lengthy email, and it was like, "Hi, Mitchell. I'm not sure if you remember me. My name's Damien." And I was like, Damien. My first singing teacher
No.
runs an runs a surrogacy agency in Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was my first singing teacher, and actually was
worked on the first show that I did, which was a chorus line all those years ago.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a full circle moment that we've been reconnected with Damien from New Gen Family. And it all just kicked off pretty quickly. We sent the inquiry. We jumped on a Zoom call. We started looking into either the Vegas service or the Colombian service. They were the two options. And we went with the Colombian, South America.
Did you ever think, I'll look in Australia first, or were you just like, it was never like, you were just like, nah. You didn't even really think about it. You just inquired overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, if we're going through this process, it's always going to be overseas.
Yeah,
Once we did start the process, there were thoughts, obviously, just going, what if we look? And I think we lasted 5 minutes and then just continued on this journey. And it was that journey we started on is where we are now. Like, we didn't go anywhere else.
Yeah, we went with the first agency. As soon as we got connected with Damien, excuse me, it was all just, it was just flying colours.
Did it almost feel right? Like, that Damien was his person that you were in contact with?
Yes, it
Absolutely.
did. I
kind
had
of
a
meant to
mini
be?
heart attack because when it happened, it was like, it felt like there was no other option. Like you're doing it now. And so I was a bit panicky, I remember at first. And remember me? I was so stressed. So I was like, can we just like another year or so? Even though I always wanted them. But Mitch was like, no, because by the time, and I'm like, no, you're just rushing. Because Mitchell's someone who's like, if you want something, like he needed it
yesterday.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, I need to simmer for a while.
Yeah.
And there was no simmering.
I looked at our shared calendar and I saw like 7 days off in like a few months. And I was like, right, I'm booking us trips. And he was like, no, stop. And I was like, no, I booked this. This is class. We're going over.
I had a cardiac arrest. I was dying. And we went.
We both had
to Colombia.
Yeah, we had 7 days off literally a few months after that. And Euan was like, this is too soon. And I was like, I already had done a lot of research in regards to about how long the process was going to be. And it was going to be anywhere between kind of 2 to 3 to 4 maybe years.
What?
Yeah. So I was like, it's been 3 years exactly for us to the day. So in knowing that, I was like, I know the baby's not just going to come tomorrow. We know that it's going to take 40 weeks regardless. Plus there's going to be extra hurdles on the way.
What is the most lengthy part of that process?
Getting matched with an egg donor or a surrogate.
Yeah, this waiting to be matched. So the egg donor situation, how that works is we get to pick the egg donor. The surrogate is matched, so we have to wait. I don't know how it works, but we have to write like basically a letter selling ourselves, photos and things. It's a beautiful letter
to the egg donor.
To the surrogate.
To the surrogate, okay.
Just to our surrogate, and then we just wait until they go down the list, and then one day we get matched.
Does the surrogate effectively choose? Do you know?
We don't know.
Yeah,
I think the agency, I think there's this kind of just a list of surrogates, and then whoever's kind of next in line for the IPs, intended parents, they just kind of get listed, get matched with the next.
And the agency is also in charge of the egg donating process. So like they have a list of egg donors here, and then they effectively match it.
So essentially there's an agency here in Australia / also in Vegas, and they work with another agency in Colombia I think they're called Nova Baby. Nova Baby. So they kind of deal with the egg donors and the surrogates, and they kind of chat to each other, and then we never really chat directly with
the donor.
Yeah, the donor or the surrogate. It's all done through the agency. But essentially we were given maybe 50 to 100 egg donors.
Oh my gosh, it was wild.
Oh my God,
and
on a piece of paper, and you just
like a catalogue.
So you get
it's
like Tinder. You just swipe across. You just get their photos. You get to know their parents' hair color, their fingers, their hands they write with, their everything. Like they drink, whatever they do, like what their kids look like, everything you can find out about them. And then when you're happy with the egg donor, you select them. Then I think you select like 3 to 5 of them, because then maybe someone else could have already snatched them up. And then you wait, and then eventually they approve it. They then retrieve her eggs. They then create the embryos, which is all, over like 3, 6, 8 months.
Do you guys have to be in Colombia for not to create the embryo, but to get your sperm?
Yeah.
You did it all over there.
Yeah, we went over. I think it was
in that break. This
7
is the time. That was the time. That was
we went over for that 7 days, and we deposited while we were there.
So you just have to blow into a cup,
essentially,
in the center thing.
In fluorescent
lights, like this, with just a little like.
Did you get to be together? You don't have to tell me.
No, we weren't allowed to be together.
We'll tell you. The first time was at the hospital.
Yeah, and
the next 2 times we're at the hotel.
Yeah, okay.
And we had to run it within
you had to
20
run.
minutes.
Yes.
This is very off topic, but Mitch had the snip.
Yes.
So we had to then collect, like he had to then do a sample 3 months later to make sure we were in the clear. He's like, I've got an hour. So we have to blow in this cup.
And it's got to stay warm.
And then he's got to go straight to drop it off. So he did it. We did it at home.
Yeah.
But it was like no saliva.
Nothing.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
No,
Just
nothing.
dry.
Just dry.
Yeah. And running, and we had the Google Maps. We had no one spoke English there, which was absolutely terrifying. So we had
Imagine
Google
us running
Translate
through Bogota.
like in a backpack.
Imagine how many men there are, like these 2 dads running through Colombia, like
screaming at
every day.
each
They're
other.
"Oh."
Like if we took a wrong turn, like that's at the end of it.
Yeah. And in our brains, we're like, this is like our future child. So fucking run faster. I don't care if you're fucking sweating.
Haven't trained for this.
Yeah.
Going back to your donor, what things were you looking for in your donor? Like, what was like a really standout thing for you, like non-negotiable, has to X?
I'm so sorry. It was what we got. It sounds so superficial, but what they looked like.
Yeah, okay. No,
Because
that's
that
fine.
is all we had to go off of. It wasn't, we didn't get to meet them and speak and get to know their personality and all those things that you normally get when you fall in love with someone. It was very much just a picture, and they were just normal selfie photos that you would just take in the car.
Yeah.
Like they weren't
Portrait photos.
No,
Yeah.
they're just like a selfie photo. And so that's what we were looking at the most.
Yeah.
And then obviously read everything.
The first thing you see is the photo. So
Yeah.
that's all you see. And then
Yeah.
you click the photo and then you go into the detail.
Yeah.
So after that, I think we were looking for like, personal traits, like what they did for a living, what they like to do. We're both performers, like singers, dancers, actors. So we were looking to see if, there was anyone that liked to dance or had like an artsy kind of background.
And they're like, says their personal attributes, what's the morals and things like that, like what they hold in high regards. For us, it was just like family. It had to be
family.
a huge thing because that's all we really, we don't know how these people live overseas or anything like that. We just have, they've got a family, they've got kids. The best thing, I still remember that day when we got matched with the first surrogate and we wrote the letter and she wrote back to us saying, there's not much that I can offer in this life, living in Colombia, that's why I'm doing this, but the best gift I can give someone is a family, and that's something I will always be so grateful that she was able to do. And we just burst into tears. It was just the most, everyone there feels like they're doing it for the right reasons, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that first surrogate, is that your surrogate? Like you've only been matched with the one? No. Okay.
We so while we were in Colombia the first time for the 7 days, we actually got matched with an egg donor, which was very rare to get matched that quickly. We landed back in Australia the following week and she actually got her period, and they actually did the process within like a whole week. And that's, the agency said to us, this has never happened this quickly before. So we were like, oh my God. We felt,
You were like, slow down, slow down.
we fell pregnant within like 3 weeks. It all happened. We were flying, and then unfortunately we had a miscarriage at 9 weeks with that egg donor and that surrogate, which was
Rough.
just like so rough.
And that's a phone call you get or an email, and
A
they just
phone
call you
call.
up and
It
you're
was a
so
phone
excited.
call.
You see, oh my God, getting a call.
Yeah. So previous to that, it's like
horrible.
you get email updates, and then we saw the phone ringing. We were like, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
so
I
And
went
then-
to work to the matinee.
yeah, it was like, I mean, like
So how long ago was that?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
coming up 3 years. Coming up 3 years
Yeah.
Yeah.
in June.
Oh, we just like, honestly, like our life was over at that point.
Yeah.
We just were like, the whole thing's over.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it anymore. I just,
Really?
it was,
Yeah.
So painful.
it was,
You didn't want to do it many times. You got too overwhelmed, remember?
I just was like, yes, I did.
I'll get us there. I'll book it.
I'll put it on
Not
the
doing
Amex,
it.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately we lost that was actually a boy.
It was our baby
It was
boy.
our boy. We lost him at 9 weeks. We then
Baby G. Our baby G
Yeah,
is what we called him.
Yeah, baby G. And then we went again with the same egg donor.
How soon after?
Straight away,
Straight
basically,
away.
just
Yeah.
once
they
they're
had another.
available.
We had another embryo.
You'd come back on board, obviously.
Came back on board. I was like, let's
Yeah.
go, Joel. So we went again, and then we had another failed pregnancy.
So this means it just didn't
It just didn't take.
stick. Yep.
Yeah.
So we 2 weeks after, there was just no baby.
Yeah.
Which again was just it was I was done.
You were actually done.
I
with
was
it.
like,
yeah.
Google how to get a refund.
No joke.
No, seriously.
No,
I
literally
was like,
Google
it's-
in the phone how to get a refund.
I was just like, this.
I
is
said,
fucking
you need
shit."
to stop.
How to get a refund from Colombia.
Yeah. In Spanish, Google Translate.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no.
fine.
It was,
I was trying to think of
I'm
Spanish
laughing
words.
now, but it was hard.
Empanada.
Banana.
And then the agency suggested we swap egg donors.
Okay.
Because perhaps it could be a combination of our sperm, her eggs, whatever. So we were like,
Yeah.
let's just do it.
Yeah.
So we swapped egg donors.
Yeah.
And we also swapped surrogates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this all very expensive to swap and change and do things like that?
No,
Like
it's
it's-
all in
All
the,
inclusive
in the
in
So
the
the
fee.
price is just one price, doesn't matter what happens in between. This is the price for a baby.
Unless
essentially.
if this didn't work, if this last pregnancy failed, we would have had to pay another fee.
because we ran
We
out
would
of
have had to
sperm.
go over there and deposit
Oh.
again.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's per deposit. That's what
Yeah.
you're essentially paying for. Yeah.
So
okay.
these embryos that you had were still from this first 7-day trip?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we now are on to our...
Sorry, the sperm. I should
Yes.
say
Yeah.
the sperm
Yeah.
was from this
Yeah.
7-day trip. Yeah.
So now we're on to our second egg donor and our second surrogate.
Yeah.
And this was our last chance
Yep.
with the sperm that we had. So we put all of our eggs in the basket and we're like, this is the last one. And
Oh, sorry. That first surrogate pulled out. We didn't.
oh yeah, we did have a
we
pull
didn't.
out.
We didn't change. She pulled out. I
Right.
think there was two. It failed miscarriage.
Yep.
It was too much.
Yep.
Yes.
Pulled out. So then
That's
we had to
right.
be matched with another
Okay.
surrogate and
Yep.
find another egg donor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute though that they care so much too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like this,
yeah.
how much the surrogates really care, and
Yeah.
that I know before we started recording, you were talking about it as a transaction, but for them, they still
Yeah.
love so
Yes.
dearly the people that they're giving the baby to. I think that's
Yeah.
so.
I know, it's
Definitely.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And when we did get to meet her, we had one Zoom meeting with her, and obviously she can't speak English, so we had a translator there. She was so beautiful. But we would speak and she would just kind of smile and look at us like going, I have no idea what you boys are saying. And then each time like something would happen or a result like this would happen, we would write her a letter just,
Yeah.
you know, wishing her the best and thanking her for all this and helping us on this journey. And I'm sure it's been tough and all those things. So we did feel connected in that way. It was the only way we could really feel connected.
I'm sure people listening now knowing that it's actually like a really warm experience for you. It has been a really warm experience for you guys. That
Yes.
you know that might encourage more people to divert overseas rather than looking in Australia first. Like,
Absolutely.
how much warmer it actually is. It's a lot warmer than I anticipated. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was, you were really separated from the surrogate, but
Yeah.
no, that's actually so
Yeah.
nice.
We don't have any connection with her one-on-one. We can obviously talk to her whenever we want through the agency.
Yeah.
But we write, we send emails. We wrote this beautiful get to know us.
Yeah.
About us and who we are, what we do, and why we want to do what we want to do, which we were super proud of.
Yeah, it's really special.
And she wrote back, and it was, you know, it's beautiful to connect. It's so interesting connecting with someone that doesn't speak the same language as you, staring at them through a screen, but still both on the same journey and the same goal and the same outcome. Like she wants to be there for us, we want to be there for her.
You can love without words.
Absolutely,
Like,
it's
a
just
lot of
like
100%.
Yeah.
it's we sat there and just freaking howled at the screen, like crying, just knowing that this lady is
She's bringing us a baby.
bringing it, like she's changing our life, literally about to
Literally
change our
changing
life.
our life,
And that small gesture to her, or that large gesture, is going to change us forever.
Yeah.
Which is just like, something that we've both ever always dreamed of as little kids.
Yeah.
So for it to become an actual reality in 10 weeks,
Yeah.
Wild.
is really wild.
Bananas.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Bananas.
So let's go back to so we've switched egg donors and surrogates.
Yep.
Yep.
And then this is the last sperm.
This is the last one.
Yep.
And
This is
go.
this is the last one, and
I'm back on board. I'm back on board.
Back
I'm
on
like,
board.
let's go.
Dad's
Woo!
back.
Yeah, he's strapped in, locked and loaded. Every time we should have said that each time we can put in a preference if you want a boy or girl, and so from the start we always said boy, 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 no, 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 and then the last embryo transfer they said, what do you want? And we said, well, what is there? And there was like, I think 4 or 5 girls and 1 boy. And we said,
Pick the strongest.
which was the girl, and
Yep.
straight in. And she was just waiting up there being like,
Yeah.
I told you needed the girl. Like, it's not going to happen until I come down. And she latched on and she never let go.
Yeah, we fell pregnant, and they wrote to us and they said this is like one of the strongest. I'm not sure of the exact words, and I don't want everyone to hate me for saying the wrong thing. But the percentage of when she connected and when she was implanted was super high, and we both were just like, "Fuck." She's been waiting for 3 years.
I know, and I will say though, the hardest thing for us, what I found was through this journey was when it comes to picking an egg donor, obviously what I was talking about, what we would pick. This last one, we said to them, do you have like a highest delivering egg donor? Like, do you have a list? And they're like, oh, here's the top 5.
And we were like,
and I'm like,
thank you.
Well,
for that.
why didn't you tell us that 3 years ago? Like, that was the hardest thing. But I guess they really want everyone to go on their own journey before going, pick this.
Yeah.
Kind of when you get to that point, I guess. And that's when it all kind of just happened, was we picked that, and then she was here.
And then like literally it's now 30 weeks in, and we're just like, it's just flown by.
Yeah.
I don't even remember those times that I Googled how to get a refund. I honestly don't remember it. I'm just like, it's all a blur. Like,
I remember.
okay, sure. Yeah. Like, I just felt like it was yesterday we were there.
I know.
You know, and now like we've booked our flights, our accommodation, we've got our freaking pram, we've got our cot, we've got everything.
Got your Mr.
We've
Bottles.
got our Mr. Bottles.
Exactly.
So tell me about the phone call. So you would have known the day that the embryo was going to get implanted.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You would have known like how many seconds basically you were along this journey.
Yep.
And then the phone rings.
Yeah, the phone rings.
And you make sure you're together.
Exactly 14
Where
days
were
later.
we?
We actually weren't together.
No, we weren't.
I was at Buddy at a cafe.
And I was at home. That's
Yeah.
right. We just moved back into the city
Yeah.
apartment. That's right.
Did you quickly go?
No, Mitchell was working there all day. He was there from like 6 a.m. till 2.
Yeah.
So I had to wait until he got home.
Were
So-
you a bit more numb going into this one because you'd had 2 failed pregnancies? Were you kind of like, I'm not going to get excited yet, or were you excited nonetheless?
It was definitely a different experience from the last 2, was because the first 2 we knew everything. We would email all the time asking for updates. Mitchell bought clothes straight away the minute we fell pregnant. Like, the garage is full of clothes, and everything was just, we had too much riding on it, I guess. We weren't just sitting and letting the process happen as it was supposed to happen. Until this last time, we kind of removed ourselves. We were like, if we're here, we'll hear. When we hear good news, we'll hear good news. We can't keep holding our breath because it was too heartbreaking. And that last time, just before, I remember you did say, I don't think I can do this again. And I said, babe, we're almost at the 3-year mark. Like, this is what they said. We can't. We're almost there. Like, we have to push through just because it's been, and it was just that last one, and we're here.
Yeah, I think the first 2, we told our immediate family and friends at like 3 weeks because we just were so overjoyed with the news. We just had to share. So we let everyone in, and then the come down of telling people that we had lost and failed was the hardest part, and reliving it every single time someone was like, how are you guys going along? Oh, we lost the baby. That was so hard. So this last time, this successful time, we told no one.
Yeah.
We actually told not a single person we were even trying again. Our friends were like, where are you guys in the process? Oh, we haven't heard from the agency. They're like, oh, really? Haven't heard. We waited until
It's been like a year and a half. But you still haven't heard.
It's the agency.
Yeah. We waited until 13 weeks and then it was just before Christmas.
Yeah.
And we told everyone, well, not everyone, our immediate family
How
and
did
friends.
you tell everyone? Like, how did you tell your mum and dad?
We wrote a card.
We wrote a card.
A
Yeah, we
pink
did.
card, yeah.
We wrote a little
It was
pink
just before
card.
Christmas and
Yeah.
it said, the Christmas card said, not everything can be tied up.
Wrapped up in one little gift. But
Some have tiny...
some have
10 toes and a tiny nose or something like that. And then it was like, baby
Had a little
girl
picture
coming,
of her.
June 2025. So that was kind of like, we were just waiting for that 13-week mark. But we knew, like, we knew deep down that this was the one. I was like very positive. But let's be honest. It's been
hectic.
it's been really fucking hard. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, like spiritually, intellectually, physically, emotionally, everything involved. It's taken both of us separately on a journey. It's taken us on a journey together. It's tested
us like you would.
Parenting.
Oh yeah, like you would not
Started out.
believe, and obviously, that just makes a bond even stronger. Like going into this, we know what we've been through to get her here. We've seen each other at the best, we've seen each other at our worst, but it is of having an understanding for the other person. Knowing that Mitch was going to feel different to how I respond to the bad news or the good news has been definitely a learning curve for both of us.
Yeah. I didn't know that this was going to be the process. Like when I sent that inquiry from that cafe in Brisbane 3 years ago, I had no idea this is the journey that we would be on. I just thought it would just be, rainbows and butterflies and flowers, and it would just be, I don't know what I was thinking. And the agency they tell you that there's going to be a journey. They tell you it's going to be a 3-year process. They're not, sugarcoating it. So they're very open and transparent. But you just never know how you're going to react personally to it. But also in saying all of that, like I have honestly forgotten until we brought it up now. I have forgotten about all of that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Everything is everything that's happening now is outweighed everything from then, obviously. And I don't even remember being an asshole for 3 years. I just remember.
Really? You
Yeah,
don't?
no.
Oh God.
Interesting. Yeah.
Take us back to the phone call then. So what, did you just not find out? Did you just wait for Mitch to get home?
We got an email saying, "Are you boys available for a call? We'll jump on a call."
And I'm very impatient. So
Extremely.
I called back immediately and I was like, oh, well, hello.
Yeah,
She was like, are you with you? And I was like, no, but just tell me.
It's in my heart.
Yeah. And she was like, are
He
you
called
sitting?
himself a 15-minute break at work. He's not allowed a 15-minute break.
She was like,
but-
are you sitting down? I was like, just hurry up. Went outside and then, I just called him
immediately
afterwards. And we both just like,
It was actually the worst because it was like at 8 a.m.
It
and you
was-
weren't getting home till 3 and I was furious. I didn't have the car either. You had the car, so I couldn't even come to see you.
So we both just, it was quite a bizarre experience, to be honest, because we weren't together. Had like seconds to talk to each other, kind of screamed and cried on the phone for a second, went back in and he sat at home for the next like 7 to 8 hours.
And I had no one to call to tell. Like
Yeah,
I was just
yeah.
literally sitting by myself like,
And I had,
oh my God,
I had a little bit,
no one's here. I'm like,
I had a bit more information in regards to like how long we were and what date it was going to be, but I didn't have time in that seconds to explain to him. He's texting going, what is this? What is it? And I'm at work going, shut up. Anyway, we went home and celebrated and I actually forgot about
So
that.
amazing.
yeah. And then we waited till 13
Yeah, 13 weeks.
And then we told our immediate family and closest friends. And then when we announced
Yeah.
not long ago,
I
January.
think we announced it like 25 weeks or
Yeah.
something.
We're just going to quickly interrupt the pod because we've got to show you what we're wearing today.
If your wardrobe needs a little refresh, Edge Clothing is the place to go.
So they've got the latest fashion trends and everyday essentials for men, women and children. High quality styles at prices that won't break the bank.
So I've got a knit cardi on. I never wear cardis, but I actually love this.
You walked in this morning and I'm like, so cute.
I know, same. I'm like so into
cute.
it. And I've only got a bra on underneath, so I feel like it's a really nice top. I'm not too hot, not too cold because we're not in winter yet. And yeah, I love these jeans. Usually all the jeans that I buy don't fit me somewhere.
Yeah.
These are perfect for me.
Love that for you. I'm in my knit pants. These are the most comfortable pants I own.
Yes,
like
I've
I
heard
can
you say
fly kick in them. I have chucked this like jacket over everything and then this white ribbed tee underneath. I'm just like,
I love I've
comfy.
got the white rib tee in white and black, and I love both of them.
I'm going to get it in black, like without a shadow of a doubt.
I reckon you should. Even Mitch was like, oh, they're nice tops.
You're like, oh my God, thanks.
Thanks, yeah. Edge Clothing have 40 locations around Australia and an online store.
Here's the best bit. So you can use code MIS20 at checkout for a 20% discount. So Edge has very kindly given our listeners a 20% discount.
Thank us later. Happy shopping. The cost.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us the exact number if you don't want to.
But you can.
But like, what are we talking?
You can say.
Yeah, it's like I think it's been. I think it's like the initial cost is like 130,000.
Yep. So do you get that cost? Like you make your inquiry, and do they effectively send you a quote, like a price breakdown?
Yeah, there's 3 invoices to be paid along the process. The initial one when you go over, then when you fall pregnant, and then halfway through the pregnancy.
Right, and that's all outlined before you.
Correct.
Yeah. So you once you get this information, you're like, great, we're up for 100 upwards.
And that's not obviously not including your flights and accommodation over initially to deposit, and then the second time when you go and get bubs, which you're there for a longer period. The first time you're only there for a week, or however long you can, however quickly you can deposit. The second time when you go and collect is you're there anywhere up from 8 weeks onwards.
Can you be there for 8 weeks because, like, by choice, like you're just not ready to go home, or like
you're waiting for her passport?
Oh,
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah. So as soon as she comes, you go get her photo done. You go to the embassy, you have your appointment, and then you wait for the passport. The second the passport comes, our bags are packed and we're at the door.
Yeah,
so we're on a
right.
flexi flight. We've booked our flight home, but we'll never get that exact date. We will come.
Hopefully it varies. Sometimes there have been cases that have gone out in 4 to 5 weeks, rarely, but the process is becoming easier now, whereas both of us are going to be on the birth certificate, which makes it a lot easier for her to get out of the country. So...
Did it not used to be?
No.
So it was only effectively the sperm.
Correct. Only up until maybe a few months ago.
Yeah, it was.
It's all new. Yeah. So we're actually in the best place
thank
possible.
God, because that was very stressful.
We've heard horror stories.
Because I heard Shani's story about the birth certificate. Like, it was all very like...
We've heard horror stories where
it's very scary.
This one intended couple, parents were stuck there for 6 months. Yeah, couldn't come home 6 months.
Oh no!
One was there for like 10 weeks, but now thankfully it's a lot quicker, the process.
Yep.
So we're hoping, like, you know me, I'm just Google.
What are you hoping, babe?
I'm hoping to leave from the hospital. Straight to business class. All that money.
No, we want to, but no. After paying that much money on the way home.
There's all these TikTok hacks that say, like, this is how you should upgrade.
Yeah.
Like, you apply for the upgrade and you pay less.
Yeah. We flew on the way. Our first time we didn't book business and we upgraded at the airport.
Yeah.
And it was
Elite.
so much cheaper. Oh, it was elite.
It was elite.
We were fucking fancy.
Yeah.
Because we came back and we were like, oh, we're going to be dads.
Yeah.
This time it will be with a child going, fuck.
Yeah.
What do we do?
You also need that business class because you've got a baby.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
You'll
Priority.
be fine, but still try and get that up.
Yeah.
Even though it is 8 weeks that we potentially will be stuck there, I think it will be really lovely that we do have that time.
I wouldn't say stuck there.
Sorry, not stuck there.
Yeah.
But being there with her, it would just be us 3.
Oh, yeah.
That bubble of having that alone time, special time with her, I think will be really nice. You know, I know that, coming home, everyone will want to come over and meet her. And I feel like by that time, we'll be relaxed a lot more.
Ready. You'll be ready. Yeah.
I don't think it will be 8 weeks, but like if it is, I'm sure that 8 weeks will just fly by. Like,
And you know what? You've got that 8 weeks to just figure some shit out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You two as dads.
Yeah.
Like, even though you've been around kids, you still got to figure your own shit out.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so wildly different for everyone.
Oh, when it's yours.
So you just be in your own little bubble.
Yeah.
Sipping on champagne.
That's it.
I've been learning Spanish for like maybe 5-6 weeks now.
He has a tutor.
I have a tutor. Yeah, I did it like twice a week in Sydney, and then now I just do it with him on Zoom. Because I want to give that to her.
Yeah.
coming here. So I'm going to speak to her in Spanish growing up, and Mitch will speak English so that she has both
You want
languages.
to like that level of Spanish.
Yeah. I want
Also,
her to grow up
it's-
with that, having that
Yeah.
from her culture. I want to keep it with her.
Beautiful.
It'll also be super important to know some Spanish when we're over there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because we did struggle a lot when we were there last time,
A
3
lot.
years ago, like very a lot. Where we're particularly staying is not a very
Language barrier is quite
yeah.
high.
It was
Yeah.
it was even the hotel staff were struggling to speak English, so we definitely struggled. A lot of Google Translate and a lot of pointing, a lot of room service as well.
It was actually quite scary the first few times.
yeah.
Like no one said anything remotely close to English.
Yeah.
And we didn't have Wi-Fi, so when we'd be out, the Google map would fail. So we'd have to run in somewhere to try and find Wi-Fi where we were, and then load Google Translate to then ask them, and then run along the street again.
Which is overwhelming thinking when you're going to be there with a newborn, you know. So the help of having some Spanish, as well as like we're going to be in a different area this time, which is a little bit more English spoken, and it's we're like in it's a very nice area where we're going to be staying. We got us a very nice Airbnb, very lush.
So you're 30 weeks today.
30 weeks exactly today.
You're leaving in 7 weeks.
Back
Yep.
in 7 weeks.
And the birth.
The birth.
The
yes.
The birth. So
Is
she's
there
due
are there
June
rules?
3rd.
Okay.
June 30 is when she's due.
Yep.
No, not that we are aware of. All we got was when we had the last Zoom meeting with her, she wanted to know if we wanted to be in the birthing suite, and we said absolutely we were going to regardless.
Yep.
And she said, I'm so happy to hear that. I think it's so special that you're both there during this moment.
She
Yep.
wanted us to be in there with her, which
Yep.
was so lovely.
Yep. Do you go in at the end when she's about to push, or are you in there throughout labour?
Well, potentially if we are there prior to some of her appointments, we can actually attend some of her appointments.
wow.
Yeah, which is so cool. We'll be able to just sit in the corner like flies and have no idea what they're saying. But there'll be a translator with us.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if when we go into the room, maybe towards the end. But essentially, like when she pushes, Bubs comes out, and Bubs comes directly to us.
Yep.
Straight to us.
Are you just going to like sandwich her?
I don't know.
Sandwich.
How
Yeah.
are you actually going to navigate that?
I know, because one will be fighting.
Yeah, we flip a
Brawl.
coin.
Google.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't know what we'll do. We'll just.
Well, I guess those types of things, I mean, we've got a million questions for all that stuff, but
Yeah.
we don't really find anything out until the day of or the
And
beforehand,
something
because
will-
there's so many things they have.
Something will happen so naturally.
Yeah,
Yes.
And
exactly.
that
Yeah,
will just
yeah,
happen.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
You
might
know.
be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. One will be on Google.
Yeah.
How to hold a baby.
So then Bubs comes to you, and the surrogate goes to do her thing.
She gets essentially like wheeled into another room, or
Yep.
we get taken into another room.
Yep.
Their priorities to look after the surrogate as well as the baby to
Totally.
check their health.
Yep.
And we then stay in the hospital maybe for a day or two with Bubs,
Yep.
and same with the surrogate. And then when everything is all cleared, then we go back to the Airbnb.
Yep.
And stand by until the passport, basically.
We then wait for the lawyers to contact us.
Mm-hmm.
They contact us with the paperwork that has been prepared now. We then sign off on the paperwork. We get our appointment for the embassy and our passport photo. We go and get that done, and then we just wait by the email until the passport's been approved. The passport gets delivered to the Airbnb. We book the flight.
Yep.
We book the Uber. We book the business.
Business.
And say, Mum, I'm on the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting and so soon.
Yeah.
Does it feel a bit surreal now?
Yeah.
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 It's surreal.
I had a little mini, lost my breath last night before bed, and it hadn't happened yet. I don't know why it happened last night. I think maybe it was because we were coming to talk about
about
this.
it,
Because
yeah.
we were talking about it when we announced. I said to Mitch, I think we should definitely share our story and about how this has all happened. So thank you so much for having us, being able to do this. I think it's very special for us, but also we wanted that out there for everyone else who's thinking about this. So it's been
It's
I
it's
just
important
wanted
for
to
us
say.
to like educate, because we didn't know anything about it.
clueless.
And we still are somewhat clueless about it all. But we're excited to have been able to, share our journey, and share the ups and downs and share the good and bad things about it.
Get on those TikTok ads.
Get on those TikTok ads. He's stolen.
So you would 100% recommend it. It's been, I know you've had the hard times, but that could happen in Australia too.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it's a good process to go down that path.
Yeah, I think so in all areas. And, you know, financially, I know it's not possible for everyone. We were just in we were lucky. We're grateful that we were able to do this. You know, we know that not everyone's fortunate to be able to go through this process. So we're grateful that it happened at the time and we jumped at it, and it was something that we've always wanted, and we were never gonna not try at any point in our life.
Question about the sperm.
Yep.
When they do all the embryos, do you know how much sperm's yours and how much sperm's yours? Or is it just embryos? Like biological sperm.
Yeah.
Say you got 10 embryos.
Yeah.
Do they tell you whose sperm it biologically is?
You can
find out.
You can
or
find
you can say,
Or you
no,
can
we'd
say,
rather
yeah.
not know until the baby is born.
And? What
We
did you
know.
do?
We know. But
Oh, wait,
then-
you don't have to tell us.
Yeah, no.
No, sorry. I was
We
just
know.
wondering,
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Yeah, yeah.
with
yeah.
even the other
Oh,
the
I understand. Yeah,
miscarriage
yeah,
and
yeah.
then like
Yeah.
the pregnancy that didn't.
Yeah.
Did you know who biological
Yes.
sperm that was? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
And did you know? Say they're like, oh, you got 10 embryos, 5 of yours,
Yeah.
or 7 is yours and 3 are yours. Yeah.
That's why we said to them, just pick the strongest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because by this point it was.
Everything's clear. You can have it all written out for you, know exactly all the details.
Yep.
And it's there, but you can also say, we'd rather not know.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you have a
Oh,
question,
no. You rather not know?
I reckon.
and then if you have a
We
question,
had to know.
oh God, yeah,
Oh, we
had
wanted to
to.
know everything. We needed, we were like,
Well, this whole
way,
journey's been a surprise.
there's been way
Like-
too many ups
Yeah.
and downs. We just were like, the more we can know.
Yeah.
So we know.
Is this a well-paying job for the surrogate in Colombia?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like out of the $130,000 or so,
Yeah.
is she getting a good?
Yeah, I
Wage?
assumed this egg donor would get a divvy, the surrogate would get a divvy, the hospital would get a divvy, the agency would get a divvy. But I know that the money for the surrogate, she has...
We'll never see that in her life, though. Like, as
no,
in,
that's like... That money would put her children through school. Yeah. So
Yeah,
so this
okay.
surrogate
Yeah,
that
it's a
we
lot for them.
have, the surrogate that we have, she has a 6-year-old. She's a single mum. And this would put her child through school and beyond.
it's in, and that, not saying that's why everyone does it over there, but it's such a big industry over there, and it's not for every woman that be wanting to go through this and carry someone else's baby, but so some that are wanting to do it, it's financially,
They
a
want
huge
to
help.
they want to do it well too, because they might want to do it again, and if they do it successfully, then they will get picked again, and again it could put their next child through, or they could buy a new house or stop working or whatever it is. So there's a beautiful culture about it. It's they want to do well by you, and they want to please, and they want to.
Like, it's everywhere. You see it everywhere. It's not, you never really hear about the conversation in Australia as prominent as it is over there. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're making me want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
I know it's hard to imagine, but siblings.
Yeah.
Like you would have had to have talked about it
Yeah.
once or twice or whatever.
Yeah,
You'd do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, so you want more than one child?
Yeah.
Of course, we would
100%.
love a big. We would love a big family, but obviously,
Yeah.
all that,
All the things
all
that
the things come along with
Yeah.
it. If we could have,
Yeah, we'll
Did you get a discount second time around?
if you have 2 children from the start, you get a discount.
Oh.
Like
If-
you
if-
can just do 2 simultaneously.
Yeah,
Yes.
so a lot of people do. Each intended parents would give. They would hopefully get matched with the same egg donor, so the children would be half siblings, and then they get matched with 2 surrogates separately, and then they hope that they both fall pregnant. So we've got actually, we know some 2 boys at the moment that are going through the process, and their kids are 6 weeks apart.
So like Irish twins.
Yeah,
so they'll be there for the one birth and
they'll
stay
be
there for the second.
They'll stay there, and
Wow.
yeah.
And that's just one of those things that it was so great that it worked out for them, yeah.
Yeah,
Correct,
Yeah.
exactly. There could be a case where one of them doesn't
One.
fall, and then they're 6 months, and then they're not stuck in Colombia, but then they're in Colombia.
Totally.
They're not going to come home for a month and then go back and collect the second bubs. They're
Yeah.
going to stay over. So you just got to be in a position where you can financially, or a position where you can for work, take potentially 6 to 12 months off work and be over there. So, but yeah, we like, if we could have a family like yours, Demi.
You will?
Yes, we would
Absolutely.
love to.
Absolutely.
You've got 3 too, haven't
I've
you?
got 3.
Yeah, you've got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like, oh, fuck, we were.
I love a big family. I mean, I'm one of 4.
Yeah.
And there's each of my siblings have, they're counting up the numbers as well. We would love to.
If we fell pregnant with twins, we would have.
Oh,
it
that was
would
a
have just been
dream.
like, fuck, hallelujah.
Are there are there high stats or percent rate of falling pregnant with twins over there? Through the
I actually
agency?
don't know.
We
the
don't
answer
know,
to
yeah.
that
Are
question.
they only allowed to implant one embryo at a time, and it's just a hoping that it splits?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
Essentially,
yeah.
Yep.
We were manifesting that it was going to split because that would have just been like
That's 2 for 1.
that would have been bargain.
Yeah.
Hey Google.
Yeah, she costs what, 65 grand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's amazing.
But yeah, like down the track, we'll definitely look back into it and get matched with the same. You ask the same egg donor, so then
they can be.
siblings. Yeah, and then
Is there a cap on how many eggs the donor is allowed to donate?
yes,
And then is also a cap on the surrogate as to how much the surrogate can
carry.
carry?
Yeah, I think that they have to have a certain amount of like months or years off between each pregnancy, but I think it's capped at maybe 3. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure I read maybe 3.
And why a boy? Like what
At the start, it was because of the name. We had a
That's
name.
something I'd do.
Like
100%.
ridiculous. We had a name before we even started the process or when we organised to go over, and I was like, this is the name. You're like, it is. And then we were there, boy. Like no discussion about a girl.
Like, we would just have a little boy with us and he would just be like, I don't know, maybe just like.
But now it's a girl. I'm like, how
Of
can it not be a
course.
girl?
Yeah.
Like,
Of
course.
of course it's a girl.
Yeah.
When we told everyone we were having a boy, everyone was like, and we told them it was by choice because we got to select what gender we wanted. Everyone was like gobsmacked, and they were like, "What do you mean? Like, surely you 2 want a girl?" And we were like, "No." So the first couple of times when we fell with the boy, and then when we told everyone we were having a girl, the third time, actually when they told us we were having a girl, I was on the phone and I was like, there's got to be something wrong. I was like, no, we're not. Because I was like, I've got 3 years of clothes in the garage that are boys. And they were like, no, it's a girl. And I was like, well, it's not. So, like, it's actually not.
again.
Yeah,
I was like,
get a refund on
I
that.
was like, hey, Google, refresh.
What's the girl chromosome? Is it Y? No.
Yeah. I was, but we were so in our head because we'd been in this process for, 3 years. We were so across.
I didn't even think it was possible.
We did, yeah, it just wasn't. And then now that it is a girl, there's no question that it was never not going to be a girl.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it's perfect. Like it's.
Oh my God, I can't.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
now
actually
we're just
can't.
like.
We're having a girl, a baby princess. I'm dying.
Yeah.
I
The
love
best.
it.
I
know.
love
I wanted
it.
a girl more than anything.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you're not telling anyone the name, obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
But was it then after the initial shock of like, not a gender disappointment?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But a little bit of that, did it then take a long time to decide on a girl name?
Well,
Yes.
yes. It was actually really difficult because we always had the baby G's name, and then we had a girl name picked out. I don't know why, because we knew we were never having a girl. We're like, if it's a girl, this is the name. The minute that they told us it was a girl, I'm like, no way.
No.
We call it that. Like, that is disgusting. How dare you think that was okay?
You cannot say the name now. So you said it's disgusting.
No, it's not, because someone might be listening and that might be their name.
Yeah. So don't say it.
No. Like, I'm actually howling when I think about it. Like, we thought it was lit.
No, it is beautiful.
Oh my God, it's fucking
It's beautiful.
hilarious.
It's beautiful
Tell
for
us off
others, but
air.
not for you.
Sorry, off air. And then, we started, Mitchell wanted this app. I don't know if you know what's it called?
Baby names.
Yeah.
It's like the Tinder.
And you
You
can
swipe.
swipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got on that for a little bit, but then it got quite repetitive. And then it wasn't until, like, I reckon we announced to everyone that's when
Yeah.
we decided on the name.
Yeah, okay.
And we came across it. Yui came across it, shared it with me, and I was like, yeah. And then we were like sitting on it for a while, and then another name popped up, and we were like, yeah. And then the next day we went back to the first one. We were like, yeah. So now it's
Can't even explain
So,
how
yeah.
much I'd love to
So
be
it's
a
like, yeah.
part of
Yeah.
discussions. Like, I just want to just watch
Oh,
you guys
no.
roll
I
by.
think about that all the time. I'm like, if people were in the car listening to our conversations, like, they'd put us away.
A few weeks ago, we got an email from the agency that the legal team in Colombia had to begin the process for the legalization paperwork. So we had to sign off on the baby's name.
Oh, wow.
So we
Before.
so we've signed off.
We can
We can
change it.
change
It was
it.
just they
Oh,
needed
right.
to
Yeah.
start
The process.
Yeah,
As
the
in you can
process.
change it
Yeah.
like legally, like it would be on whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we wrote it down on the form, and I was like, "Oh, is that like?
Is that it?
Is that it?"
That's it.
how
And
we
then we
spell
send.
it?
Yeah, we pressed send, and I was like, "Fuck, that's her name."
It was
But
so
now
cool.
it's
I'm
just like it's
But we have
engraved in
we have the
everything. It's-
second one. They're both literally the same name, just different. Literally,
Euan,
I'm
stop.
not.
Fuck. That's it.
There's
no.
two options. No, so well, just in case, like she comes to us and we're like,
No,
you know,
she's a-
she's not.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
a this.
yeah,
So we
like
do have
Sophie
a second.
versus Sophia.
You know, like
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
yes,
On the
pretty
yeah.
much.
But that would happen to some people. Like you could
Absolutely.
absolutely be like this name, this name, this name, this
Yeah.
name, and then you meet your baby and you're like, it's not that name.
Yeah.
like that would
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
happen.
And like, you know, it's just paperwork for you know,
Exactly.
like we can change that.
it.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's the
it's
least
just
of your worries.
least of our worries.
yeah.
Do you think that this agency, because you've had a great experience, everything seems so professional. Do you think it's the agency that you went through that was really good? Like, have you heard any horror stories about other agencies?
I think like any business, there's going to be ups and downs, or people are going to, we're going to gel with the people that we, we're in contact with, because we did go through a couple of different people that were coming through the agency that we were speaking to, like our point of contact. But we were lucky to have a great relationship with them, and they hold a Christmas party every year. So for intended parents and those who have already come back with their babies. So the last 3 years have felt like we're part of the New Gen family, and meeting all of them and hearing about their process. So for us, it's been an incredible experience, and with this agency for
Every
sure.
Christmas, the people that you meet the year before then have their children with them the next year, and it's so sweet that this Christmas we'll have our
ours.
child. So we'll just be. It's just so beautiful that there's this like alumni of people that all kind of get together, have all been through the same process. You're all in this room together, and you just get to share stories.
Yeah.
You all just get to be like, "This is ours. This is ours."
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
No,
Is
no.
it typically same-sex couples that do this, like for the parents that you've met or intending
say
parents that you've met?
90%, I would say,
90%.
and this
90%.
more for this agency is.
Yeah, the people that are in this agency and the people that we've met, I'd say 90% from this Christmas party we've been to, and who we're in contact. We're in WhatsApp groups, we're in Facebook groups, and I'd say more than 90% are same sex couples.
Yeah.
This is off topic, sorry, are friends that man and wife, 20 rounds of IVF here
20.
that didn't work, then went to, could have been Colombia or South Africa. Well, I don't know.
Greece?
No, could have been Colombia, worked twice, first 2 times.
Fuck.
Isn't that wild?
Wild.
Wild.
Yeah.
Like worked the first time and then still had the embryo left over. So then they were like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah, let's go.
let's do it again.
Yeah.
Worked.
People like
20.
Yeah,
20.
that's fucking insane. People do ask us though all the time, like, why did you decide to go there? Like in some people's heads, it's always like, why didn't you do it in Australia? Like some people, not many people know, they don't know enough about it. They just assume you can do it here in Australia,
Yeah.
which you can't. And
Yeah.
so the success rate for Colombia is so high. Majority of the people that we've met, they've gone through Colombia or Vegas, and they've all come back very successful.
They say to you, like, it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of the length of how long
Yeah.
it will happen. They say no more really than the 3-year mark, and we're bang on the 3-year mark.
Yep.
So, like, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of the length in which it happens. And that's all to do with getting matched with a surrogate, getting matched with an egg donor, getting matched with how busy they are at the hospital creating embryos, how often all of those things come
How the
into play.
countries work.
Yeah.
So Colombia's works completely different to the US. They just, how they work affects the process for sure.
Yeah.
Would you love to see it like that in Australia?
Yes.
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our Damien, who runs the agency, that's why he started this agency, was because it was so difficult for him to have a child and go through the surrogacy process. So that's why he created New Gen Families and has the office here in Australia, and then goes through Colombia and, sorry, darling, I've never called you darling in my life, and Vegas. So can make that possible for us, which I think is amazing.
Yeah. It's so hard to imagine it being here because I'm like, I feel like so many women would do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
absolutely, like, as in be a surrogate.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely, like, can be done here.
Yeah.
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 Just so interesting that we don't.
Did your egg donor have to be from Colombia as well?
Yes.
Yep.
You couldn't say, could you BYO egg donor?
No.
No, it can't be
No.
YO.
No.
Okay. 'Cause I'm like,
No.
that would be an option.
Yeah, no, that would be a cheaper option, but no,
Yeah.
it's all inclusive. It's all
All part of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like then again, if she was to then provide her eggs, then the fee, because there was an option for us not to go to Colombia and do our sperm. There was an option to freeze it and ship it via aeroplane. The cost is fucking wild to get to freeze something like that because it's like precious cargo. So it was cheaper for us to fly over and like, yeah. So no, it was always just going to be an inclusive option for us. It was always just going to be all in the same place, same agency, same hospital, same everything. You know, just wipe your hands clean.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about dad life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're like, holy fuck, I'm scared?
Yeah.
Like anything specific? Like you're like, what about being up all night and no sleep? Like how are we on no sleep?
Who functions the worst on no sleep?
So you're looking at Australia's best sleeper.
No,
I'm the
we're
kid.
mirrored.
Yeah.
'cause I am too.
Yeah.
How many hours do you get per night?
Don't know, but I'm nappy.
So
Like I'm
he,
very-
he
Yeah,
needs
yeah.
a minimum 13 to 14 hours per night. Shut up. You do. Shut up. You do. Tell the
I'm
truth.
allowed. I don't have a
What time do
baby
you go to
yet.
bed?
We go to bed
Sometimes
super
like
early.
yes, 7.
We go to
Love
bed
that.
super early.
And
Thirty.
go
I
to, and go to
bed so
sleep?
early.
Yeah.
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 And
I'll
then
scroll
wake
on
up.
TikTok for a bit.
And then I'll
8
wake
o'clock.
up at like
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you take anything? Like,
no. But sometimes I don't. Like if I don't have anything to do, like if I've got a day off at something, I won't set my alarm. I'll wake, and if I wake up at 8, I'll go, I'm just gonna lie back in bed. But if I do, like I have stuff to do,
Yeah,
I'll
you-
get up.
Yeah, yeah.
But
that
I just
match-
love my sleep.
your personality? Like, are you very like relaxed and laid back or not? Like how? Because I feel like to be able to sleep.
I'm both.
like he'll-
I think I'm a
Yeah, but he'll
best
get
of
up,
both
he'll shower and
worlds.
get ready, and then he'll go, I might just have a little nap now.
Yeah.
And then get back into bed.
Literally,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
my favorite thing in the world. And
Yeah.
sleep is the best. Sleep's what gives life. Sorry, it
so
does.
you're not doing the overnight feeds.
But everyone's like keeps saying that. Like everyone's like, Euan, you're gonna struggle. I'm like,
No.
guys,
No, you won't
I'm
struggle.
gonna have a baby. I know what I'm in for, and I can't wait to be kept up all night. If
Yeah.
I'm being completely honest.
Do you know how I explained it? I always thought, I'm not getting up to go to the gym, to go to work. You're literally getting up to feed your baby. Like
Yeah.
there's so many positives about that, and you just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can sleep till midday if the baby then sleeps from 8 a.m. till midday too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just sleep during the day.
Yeah.
Like I just think it is different. You'll be fine. You'll be so fine.
Like you'll rather feed your baby.
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm not particularly scared about anything. I can't wait for everything. I can't wait for our life to change. That's what
Yeah.
I'm excited about, is about how we're going to change and grow I just can't wait to have like there's going to be 3 of us. It's
Yeah.
not just us 2 anymore.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's a family. It's not just Euan and Mitch.
You're
Yeah.
tied together.
You know what I
feel
mean? Like it's
actually
so, I'm
genuinely.
so excited for that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a natural, it feels like a natural progression in our life. Like
Yeah.
we're in such a great place together that it just feels right now to extend this to a daughter. And it feels like right and natural that, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I'm overwhelmed about a lot of
Yeah.
things. Like, yeah, I'm nervous about the flight home.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about 32 hours on a plane.
Yep.
I'm nervous she won't like me.
She
like,
She'll
love you.
Love you.
She'll be obsessed
no,
with
but
you,
like,
Mitch.
you know what I mean? Like, there's a responsibility, right? We have to keep her alive.
Yeah. And you will.
You know,
Just like the rest of us. do.
Yeah. And I'm like, we're not the first people to do this.
Nah.
You
And you'll
know?
have questions and you'll say to each other like, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, I don't know how to do that. You know, and
Yeah.
you just figure it out. It's
Yeah.
the same with everyone else. Like
Yeah.
there's literally no textbook on how
Yeah.
to
No,
raise
yeah.
a baby.
Totally. And like,
You do it your own way.
and a lot of
that'll be
people
your
say
way.
like,
Yeah.
you know, your natural instincts kick in and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you don't know, but then all of a sudden you do know.
Yeah.
You know, you know exactly what she wants. Right now she wants to burp. Right now she wants to bottle, whatever it is, sorry. So I'm excited, don't get me wrong, but I actually can't wait just to become a 3.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm most
know.
excited for.
You'll be expecting poo. You'll be like, is this a good poo? Or
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
poo?
totally. Be
Are we,
like,
Download a poo chart. 'cause
are we
it's handy.
constipated?
Good to know.
I just,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
The other, well, we were nervous nervous about formula feeding, of just the process of going, also when we go over there to take from here, because what would they have over there they won't have back here. And a lot of people have been saying that's been really tough for some babies, like adjusting. So make sure you take a couple of options from Australia when you go over.
You also can't take too many options over because you can't, like, in your suitcase, there's like minimal things you can take over. So
because they would have the formula that they, I guess, recommend and
Correct.
use in the hospital.
Yeah.
So
that's what we will use.
Yep.
And then they'll just be like, when we come home, there'll be the
will you still use that in like while you stay over there?
yeah.
Yep. It's good to have options.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, there's a lot of people that have done it.
Exactly.
And have come home with very healthy babies.
Yeah.
So it's possible. It's happened before. We're not the first people to do it.
And also, whether you change formulas here, a baby change formula, you might have an upset stomach for 24 hours and then they get on with it.
Yeah.
And then they get used to the new one.
Yeah.
Like it's, It would be similar to changing formulas here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we've got your Mr. bottles ready to take over.
Yes.
Take a
Yes.
beige one.
Much.
Take a beige one.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
We can't wait to do a part 2.
Yes. Should we hear?
Yeah, part 3, you mean?
Yeah. We can come to your house. We can go to Helen's house.
Yes.
You can come back here, whatever you want to do, because we
Yeah.
want to hear about how it went down. We want to hear about the process.
Yeah. To be continued.
So, yes, when people are like, oh my God, you need to share your story, think Mr. Mums pod.
yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And we'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah, we'd love to continue sharing.
Yeah.
Because it's super important for us to share our story and
I just think there's
educate.
just so many people that would want to know stuff.
Yeah.
And like Google is so overwhelming, as
Yep.
you would know. Like, you're kind of like, well, is that right? Or is
Yeah,
that right?
and everything's so blasé. Like they don't
Yes.
give you the exact information. It's so sketchy.
Yep.
And I think the most information we've learned was from meeting intended parents that have gone through the
Yes.
process,
Yes.
sitting with them for half an hour and going, go,
Yes.
tell me your
us
story.
everything.
And then you learn from that.
Yep.
All that and legal stuff as well was really
It's
overwhelming.
really
Like
overwhelming.
I call the like immigration lawyers, and they just wouldn't have answers. And you're
Yeah.
like, you're the people that are supposed to have the answers, and then
Literal job.
that's your literal job.
The
Like
small
you're
fee
the
of
person to go
$500
to.
per hour will tell you the answer.
They're like, I've never heard of that before. Like about the process, like they've just had no idea. So that was quite scary at the start. And then you just speak to people that have gone through, it and they're like, this is what you do. You don't get it from them.
Right.
So yeah, that was.
I guess it's going to be a bit
wasn't it?
overwhelming, actually, probably like knowing that it's all legal and everything that we can bring her home. But I think that initial
We'll be
rocking up at
very
the
stressed.
airport
Yeah.
with her,
Yep.
trying to leave Colombia will be
Yeah, it's
scary. It will be
Yeah.
scary. Like, of course, they're going to question things.
Yep.
We're on the birth certificate. It's all legal. It's
Yep.
our child.
But it won't be the first time they've seen that.
No.
Yeah.
No. So, I guess it's like when that plan.
Plane lands.
Plane
Oh,
lands.
I know. I
so
feel like
emotional.
yeah.
Like when that plan lands.
Aww.
When the plan lands. When the plan lands in. What's going? When the plane lands in Australia. Well, I will be clapping when that plan lands. I can't. Fuck! When we arrive in Australia and the three of us actually touch the floor for the first time, and
Yes.
our whole family is
Yeah,
standing
ready.
with signs saying
The
welcome
biggest
home.
welcome party ever.
Oh my
Like
God.
that
Yeah.
will be.
That'll be so emotional.
I think I'm gonna like.
got goosebumps.
I'm gonna fall to the floor.
Yeah.
Like don't touch my daughter. It's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I always keep thinking about that moment. It's gonna
Yeah,
be so
like when
special.
those, you
The
know,
8
like
weeks
that,
alone,
that
and
door opens at customs,
Yeah.
and you walk through,
Yeah.
with,
The trolley.
with our suitcases, and we've got her with us, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
It's the best.
like I'm
Are you just
sweating.
going to do a baby carrier?
I'm sweating
Yeah.
too.
Don't worry about a pram.
No,
You
we're
can
just gonna have a baby carrier.
Yeah. Yep. Good idea.
Are you having a baby shower?
Yes.
Yes.
We are in
exciting.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah,
A big one?
like
Oh,
45,
big one
maybe
for
50
us.
people.
Oh. It's still big.
Yeah, yeah.
Bigger
I
than
think
your
it's-
wedding. So
Much bigger than the wedding.
Much bigger than the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having one here in Melbourne, and then one in Mount Gambier, South Australia, because my family are from there, and it's easy if we go home to have it with them, and then
Yep.
other friends can come along to that one as well. So we'll have 2.
Beautiful.
You can find our registry online. There's still lots of items to be bought.
We can't wait to continue this chat in 6 to 12 months' time
Absolutely.
and hear how it all went. We wish you all the best, and we're so excited. And I hope someone records that moment that those doors open and
Yeah.
everyone's standing there and we can relive that.
I
Absolutely.
want someone to record all the moments.
Yeah.
Like, I just
Oh, there
Can you
will
vlog
be.
it?
I'll have
Yeah.
a GoPro.
Yes,
Vlog
do
it.
it. Vlog the
Vlog
whole
it.
time.
We actually vlogged the whole thing when we were over in Colombia.
Good.
Yeah,
So
we did
just
that.
haven't had the chance to put it together, but we've actually documented the entire experience. We just love to be able to share it with people, but also most importantly, we want to share it with her when
Yeah.
she's old enough and if she wants to see us 3 years ago running around
Yeah.
Colombia with her in her
Even
little.
us when we watched it the other day, like it's been 3 years since we haven't even looked at that footage. It was
No.
so
Yeah.
beautiful to go back and
Oh,
watch
you
it.
should definitely
We're
do
jet lag as
documentary.
fucked in the hotel, eating and bacon and egg
Like
thing
at
at
4
Coke
a.m. because
Zero,
we
like,
had jet lag.
and then we're like running to drop off the sperm. It's like it's pretty funny.
Totally.
So to be able to one day put that all together and be able to share that with her, to be
Yeah.
like
Sell the
this-
movie rights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah,
Exactly.
Hello Netflix.
yeah, you should definitely keep it all.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
can put it all together for her one day.
Yeah.
Definitely, it'd be so special.
Yeah, so special.
She's like, oh, I've got cool dads.
Yeah, fun dad.
Cool dad. Fun dads.
Hopefully.
Fun dads. Well, thank you guys, and I'm sure every single person listening will also be just sitting on the other side going, "Oh my god, congratulations, good luck!" So we're just so excited for you both. So
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you both so much.
Big
Thanks for making the
congratulations.
time to
Thank
share.
course.
you.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
That's a wrap on another Missta Mums ep.
If you find yourself with a spare 2 seconds, we'd really appreciate a rating or a review to help new listeners find our podcast.